Hello, a very good day to everyone. I am Suping, and in today's video, we are going to discuss on IRS E Invoice. So the video will break into two parts. The first part will be the preparation we need to do before we do the E Invoice setting in the system. And the second part would be E Invoice setting in IRS POS. To register the MyTax account, we can access the live web page at mytax.hasil.government.my, and for the trial web page, we can go to preport-mytax.hasil.government.my. So before we do any setting in IRS POS, we need to do setting at the MyTax portal first. So we can click on My Invoice. So here it will prompt out the terms and condition page. So you can read and go through the T&C. Then click on I accept the terms and condition. Click continue. So here, the continue button, it will lead to the taxpayer profile details page. So you just need to fill up the form by filling in the correct data and then click on the save button. So please ensure the page prompt out the registration completed page upon the completion. After we click on finish setup, it will lead us directly to the home page. To link software vendor IRS to the taxpayer profile, we'll need to access the home page, and then we can click the drop down button on the top right corner here and then select view taxpayer profile. So now we can scroll down to find the representative section, and then we can click on the intermediaries tab. So here, click add intermediary. At this page, we will need to fill in the software vendor TIN number, BRN, and the name. For the live account, you can refer to the detail as below, and for the trial, please follow this detail at the right. As this is my trial account, now I have filled in all the details, and then I just click search. So after I click the search button, when the status is show as active, then please click on the continue button to complete the process here. So at this page, please tick all for the permissions and add intermediary. After the setting, please make sure the status is shown as active. Alright, now let's move on to the e-invoice setting in IRS POS. I will start with the company profile setting first. There are a few required fields that we need to fill in. For the business registration name, refer to the SSM company name. The registration number is required to fill in. And for the MSIC code, you can refer to your accountant. Here, we can click on the e-invoice tab. Click on activate e-invoice. The activate date here refers to the start date when the user start implementing the e-invoice. Company TIN number refer to the merchant tax identification number from LHDN. For tourism tax number, only if you are registered as payer tourism tax, then only you are required to fill this. Business nature refer to your business industry. Branch code is any code that represents the outlet. For the IES secret ID, you can get from our team. IES connection here, we can select whether we want it to make it trial or live account to link data to my invoice. For IES counter reference is for IRS internal use only. So how do we request for the secret ID? There are a few information that we need to provide to request for the IES secret ID, which include your SSM company name, the brand name, branch code, dealer ID, or whether you want to make it trial or live account that link your data to My Invoice portal. Alright, so after we done setting for the company, then we will move on to customer master. So we can see that the green color fields here refer to the required field for e-invoice document. The registration number and the IC number, we can fill in either column to differentiate whether it's business or individual. And here, click on e-invoice tab, and we will need to insert the customer TIN number here. Next, we move on to item master. Under the e-invoice tab here, we can see the classification code. The classification code is for submitting income tax to specify the item is under which category. So for all the new item creation, the classification code will be default as others under code 022. But for all the existing item that is ready in the system, it will be defaulted as empty, blank. So you can choose the right classification code by item. So now after we have done setting for the company, customer and item, let's proceed with the sales page. So once we select the item, we can see that here there is a tab called e-invoice tax classification. So here there's an option for us to reselect the right classification code by item. Okay, now we proceed to the payment page. Then we can see that this message will pop out. So for any cash sales or credit sales, once we generate it, it will prompt the message as this one. So you can press the yes button to upload the document to IRS server for generating QR in receipt, or you can press no to keep in local database, then ready for upload later. So for this part, if you want to select no every time, we can go to the company. Under e-invoice tab here, you can select no. So then the system will auto default as no when you generate the cash sales or credit sales. For your information, all cash sales will be kept in a pending list of consolidated e-invoice in IRS server, and all the credit sales will be directly submitted from IRS server to My Invoice portal as individual e-invoice. Now I click on last bill. For your information, for any skip upload document, we still can record at the last bill screen to validate the e-invoice, then upload the document to IRS server, and it will direct to the My Invoice portal. So here we can also see the More Information tab. If you got any changes or update of the information, you still allow to key in under the More Information page in sales screen or last bill screen. Next, we'll talk about the cash sales return. For your information, LHDN require that if we are doing any return, we should refer to the document, and refund with goods exchange is not allowed. So here, we can go to company profile under sales 2 tab. Here we can tick on these two options. Negative total amount is not allowed when goods exchange, and the cash sales return should be based on the document. At the last bill page just now, we can see that there is an e-invoice status here. So there will be total 3 types of status: pending, valid, or failed. If it is shown as pending, means the sales document is at IRS server. If it is shown as valid, means it has been submitted to the My Invoice portal. If it's shown as failed, means there is something wrong, maybe, for example, invalid TIN number. For credit sales return and credit note, we can click on the e-invoice button to revise the information first, and then we can click on save button to revalidate the e-invoice. Alright, so at the menu bar here, we can see the e-invoice tab. So we can see at the top left corner, got consolidated e-invoice and monitoring listing. So here we can filter the date range. For the status, we can filter either new, submitted, valid, invalid, or cancelled. Then we can click on validate the e-invoice. So the setting tab here, user can set consolidated document number prefix and the running number here. The system will force include the IES branch code set into part of the next document number. After we have filtered the date range, step 1, we can generate the related document. To list out the related document for consolidated in grid view, so we can click on grid view to list out the related cash sales that to be consolidated. So step 2, we can click on process consolidate to process the related document into consolidated. So lastly, we'll move on to the monitoring listing here. For the document type, we can select the document type that you want to view. For example, cash sales return, invoice, or credit note. We can filter the date range, and then here we can click on view grid. So we can see that the document will be separated based on the e-invoice status into different tabs. So we will start from the no status. The no status refers to the document that is never submitted to IES server for validation process. Pending status refers to the document is submitted to IES for Alaya QR scan by consumer for e-invoice request. Submitted refer to document is submitted to LHDN and waiting for the reply for e-invoice status. Valid refer to the document is validated by LHDN as a valid e-invoice. Invalid refer to the document is failed to validate by LHDN. And cancelled means that the document have been cancelled by user. So for example, cancel credit note after validated. So this is all for the IRS POS setting. Thank you very much for watching this video.